Mesjid Agung Taipei dibangun pada tahun 1948. Masjid ini didirikan untuk memenuhi kebutuhan umat Muslim di Taipei untuk tempat beribadah. Selama beberapa dekade pembangunannya, Mesjid Agung Taipei telah dikunjungi oleh banyak tokoh Islam terkemuka di dunia, sebut saja Raja Iran, Raja Jordania, dan Raja Arab Saudi. Masjid ini juga memainkan peran penting dalam diplomasi internasional dengan banyak pemimpin negara-negara Islam mengunjungi masjid ini saat mereka berkunjung ke ibu kota Taipei.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Abdullah and my Chinese name is Zhengping. I'm a Taiwanese Muslim. I am actually a second generation Taiwanese Muslim. My father, he converted to Islam. And now I am, you can say, a part-time imam here in the Taipei Mesjid. I deliver sermons, I give khutbah on Fridays, on Jum'ah. And I would like to just take you around to see the Taipei Grand Mosque. Actually, it's built around about 6 or 70 years ago. And this mosque has quite a history. You see, it has a lot of change actually in the past 10 or 20 years. So maybe before I talk about the mosque, I would try to give you a little bit of background of how the Muslim population in Taiwan is like, the structure of the population. So currently there's around 300,000 Muslims in Taiwan. Totally there are 23 million population in Taiwan. So 300,000 is about 1% of the total population. However, in this 300,000, you can say the majority among these people are all foreigners. So if you come on Fridays, on the day of Jummah, you'll probably see more foreigners than the local Taiwanese Muslims. And most of the Taiwanese Muslims here are actually people who migrated from China during the 1950s or onwards. So after the war, many of them, they moved from China to Taiwan. But if you look back to 20 years ago, the situation was actually completely the opposite. When you come to the mosque 20 years ago, you would find that the majority of people coming here were actually Chinese Muslims. But the foreigners were actually lesser that time. So today you can say that the situation has completely changed. And among all the foreigners, of course, the Indonesian Muslims are the majority. The mosque, actually, if you look at the size of the mosque, it's considered to be quite the biggest mosque in Taiwan. But if you probably compare it to Indonesia, this is quite a small one. And actually, because in Taipei City, there are only 2 mosques. So whenever there are huge gatherings, whenever there is the Eid Salah, it will be packed. It will be full of crowds. And actually, even the place where I'm standing here, even during Fridays, this place will be occupied. So, of course, we would hope that there will be a lot more mosques in the future in Taiwan, because obviously we're a growing population. There are more and more Muslims coming, more and more Indonesian brothers and sisters coming to Taiwan. And also because Taiwan is a quite friendly country for Muslims to stay, either in terms of food or in terms of culture or people. In general, people are quite accepting to the Islamic faith here. So the area we're in right now is the males' prayer hall. So for the females' prayer hall, it's actually upstairs. And when we look at the structure of this mosque, it's also quite similar to some of the classical historic mosques in the Middle East. So I think one of the most iconic structure is the circular roof, as you can see up there. And of course, the reason of having a circular roof art style, this is actually in the beginning, in the past, it used to serve as a function where, because in the past there was no microphones or any machine to make your voice louder. So this kind of structure would help the person leading the prayer for the people behind to be heard. But nowadays, this structure it became an art style. So this is also how this mosque is following. It doesn't really serve as a function of actually echoing the voice, but it became just an art style.
Desain Mesjid Agung Taipei mengadopsi gaya arsitektur Arab dengan referensi khusus pada gaya masjid di Asia Barat. Fasilitasnya meliputi aula utama dengan kubah, ruang wudhu, aula serbaguna, kantor, dan koridor beratap lengkung.
This thing is called the minbar, which is the place where the khatib or the preacher will give his sermon on Friday, on Jum'ah. And as you can see, some of the art, for example, on the wall, the glasses, one thing that you will notice that is very different from like churches or temples in Taiwan is that there's no idols, there's no images, and that is because of the faith in Islam. In Islam, we do not do idol worshipping. We do not worship to any entity except the only God, which is Allah. And that is what you can see at the top. There is this little calligraphy of the word Allah from Arabic.
Struktur utama dari bangunan ini terbuat dari beton bertulang dengan banyak dekorasi mozaik di berbagai bagian dinding luar dan pintu gerbang.
In this area, usually it's a multifunctional area. So for example, on Fridays, because we have a lot of people coming, so this area would actually serve as a place to pray. And right after praying, on every Friday, this place will serve as a bazaar. So there will be a lot of people selling food here, selling some little items for the Muslims to buy. And apart from that, usually how do we use this place? For example, whenever there is a Islamic wedding, a nikah, then maybe they might use this area as well. So also in Ramadan, when the mosque would serve a lot of food, then they will also organize a dinner in using this area. And on every Sunday, the mosque will actually organize classes for children under the age of about 12. So the children will come to the mosque to learn about Arabic, to learn about the basic knowledge of Islam, and they will come and engage with other Muslim students. And apart from the activities at the mosque, there's also an organization called Al-Hadi Islamic Education Center. They are the first and only Islamic children's school in Taiwan. Yeah, so it's also located in New Taipei City, and many of the Muslim parents actually send their children to this Muslim school. So of course, they provide teaching programs for kids from the morning till the afternoon, and there are also programs for older kids who are going to school, but they also provide after-school programs for these children. So we have a school like this in Taipei that provide Islamic education for students. But of course, for now, the target for the kids is still quite low. Inshallah, we are hoping to expand the age of range for broader.
Mesjid Agung Taipei sering menjadi pusat kegiatan budaya dan edukasi seperti kelas mengaji Al-Quran, pengajian, dan acara-acara budaya lainnya. Sepanjang tahun, Mesjid Agung Taipei menerima ribuan pengunjung, baik itu jemaah lokal maupun turis asing, serta delegasi dari negara-negara Muslim yang berkunjung ke Taiwan. Masjid Agung Taipei tidak hanya menjadi pusat kegiatan keagamaan bagi komunitas Muslim di Taiwan, tetapi juga menjadi jembatan penghubung antara budaya dan tradisi Taiwan dengan dunia Islam.